All right, so I'm going to do a kind of impromptu Saturday morning stream. This was something that I forgot to do Wednesday night. I was kind of feeling a little bit under the weather and had to take care of some other things. However, today I'm going to be showing you step 2 in the Pixpa Build Your Own Website video. Today I'm going to be showing a little bit about how the SEO works and where to set that up, but more specifically we're going to go into the different e-commerce options that are available within Pixpa. So let's go ahead and get started with going into our website here and just kind of editing those SEO settings and kind of telling you more of what they're about. So let's go into that section. You go into website, edit website, SEO, and this is going to give you the complete SEO manager for the entire website. So we can start with our site title, make sure that's correct. So for my case, I would do something like chat every day. And I'll probably just honestly leave it like that. And then the description, the official website of photographer and I guess YouTuber, whatever, chat every day. Learn more about Chad. Visit his shop and find featured blogs. So essentially in your description, you just want to kind of describe what it is that you're all about, and on your title, you just want it to be the title, like your name or your brand or whatever you go by in that case. Now, if we go over to Seo Manager, essentially what this section does allows you to go in and make titles and descriptions for each individual page. So the home page, I might just call this something like chat every day or home-chat every day, and then whatever the description would be, maybe. So typically on my home pages, I have a gallery there. It's more specifically my portfolio. So I might just put in the portfolio of chat every day. So whatever your home page is, just a basic little description there. I don't know what this proofing page is. I'm not going to use it, but the about page. So I would do something like about chat every day, and you don't necessarily have to add in your brand name there. It could be literally just about, but I feel like the more that you can put in there, the more description you can get, the better it's going to be for your overall SEO, your rankings, and people's ability to find you when they're searching for you on Google. So again, just go through each of these different lists here for all the pages you have. Now, obviously, some of these like products and stuff like that, you want to be descriptive on those as well, so you'd add your title and descriptions for your products, and you'll do that on the product page, which we'll see here in just a moment when we're doing the SEO section. So I'm going to go back to my home, and I'm going to click on e-commerce. So now there's about 3 different options you can do with e-commerce when it comes to Pixpa. You can do client galleries, you can do e-commerce galleries, and you can actually set up a shop. So here's what the differences are. So if you have a shop, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's just your standard e-commerce shop where you can add products. And what you want to do is activate either one or the other. So originally on my Chat Everyday website, I had e-commerce galleries as my main source of e-commerce. And essentially the way the galleries work, if you're a photographer, a graphic designer, or you do prints, you can set up and activate these e-commerce galleries, so that way you can upload all kinds of different prints and have them order prints from you. Now, there's 2 different ways that you can do your e-commerce galleries. You can either set those up to print automatically through a service like White House Custom Color, which is a great print company, but you do have to go and have an account set up with them and get that information to implement that in here. Or if you want to print things yourself, or just when an order comes through, you can send off a print order. That way they come to you first. You can inspect the prints, put them in your custom packaging. You can do that as well, so you don't have to do that automated print process. And then the other option is client galleries, and essentially the difference between a regular e-commerce gallery and the client galleries is this one is great if you're like a wedding photographer, or maybe you go to sporting events. You can set up individual galleries for different events or clientele, so that way they have access to go in and view their proofs. They can choose which photographs they want. You can set up pricing sheets for these. You can handle your orders from here, all kinds of stuff. So let's say, for example, we wanted to add an album, and I'm going to call this, I don't know, Thompson engagement photos. something like that. So if you want to add a date, you can do that if you want. You can include it in the spotlight page or not, but we're just going to go ahead and create this album. So now when we get into this gallery, we're just going to call this Thompson Engagement Photos. Let's just do that again. And once this gets loaded up, then we get all the options of how we want to set up that gallery. So you can make these galleries password protected and give that out to the clients maybe after they've paid you, or just to keep their gallery safe from other people. So say like you're a boudoir photographer, maybe your client doesn't necessarily want all of his or her photos going out on the internet for everybody to see, so you could password protect that gallery so that their photos remain safe between you and your client. And that can go for any clients that don't want their likeliness to go out onto the internet. So now that we have our gallery set up, we can share this gallery with our clients. We can view it. We can see any comments. So the clients do have the ability to actually comment in, I really like this photo, or maybe could you make this photo black and white? So it's a really neat process that you have here. So let's go into our settings. So here's our privacy setting, for example. So if we just simply turn that on, it's going to give us the option how we want to do this. So we can make it a public album, or in this case, let's go to password protected, and then you can make that password whatever you want. You can create an album landing page, which you request a name and email address from visitors. That could be used in a sense where, say at my current day job, we actually have this digital asset manager where people can request access. And what this does is it gives them access to either our branding materials or certain photography from different regions. And obviously, we don't want them to be able to access everything that we have all the time, or be able to just random people on the internet to be able to take our image and our branding stuff and create something that isn't in line with what our brand does. Then we can request the name and email address, so that way we can follow up with them and make sure that they're getting the proper content and not taking everything for granted. So that's a few reasons why you might want to password protect, and just know that you have that option. You can also not show landing pages on public albums. So, you can kind of have these things hidden if you don't want it to be shown. Again, that might be something you might do with like boudoir photography or something like that. Have just this hidden gallery page with a private link that you can give to your client. So, favorites and comments, I feel like is a good thing to have on in these galleries, because as your clients are going through picking, you can have them, say you had a package deal where they get to pick like 10 out of 50 photos to get prints of that are included. You can have them go and favorite their 10 favorite of these 50 photos or whatever, and that's the ones that you'll now print. You also have the option for downloads. So if you work in photography like I didn't really worry about prints. I just gave clients the rights to print their own images. It just made my life a lot easier. So you can have the option of having downloads on. So when that client gallery goes live and they go in to look at their images, you can allow them to download. You can have a PIN number. So that way, if by chance the wrong person gets in the website and gets in that gallery, they still have to have a PIN. So it's like a second form of security level and verification to make sure the proper person is actually getting that download. And then you can have them download galleries, favorite lists, whatever they want to do. And you can also even choose the file sizes. So for example, if you want them to be able to download just smaller file sizes to share online, but maybe not necessarily get prints, you have that option. Or, most of the time you're probably just going to give them the original. So you have a lot of options to do in here. And let's say, for example, the wrong family member got a hold of some photos and there was needing to be some blocking going on. You can even block certain email addresses from having permission, or in this case, restrict to specific email addresses. So let's say your clients have an email address they want to use, and that's the only one allowed. Just stick it in here, and then nobody else will have it. So there's lots of ideas or procedures in place for security measures and downloads and things like that. So let's go ahead and cut e-commerce on and take a look at what options we have in that section. Now again, we're just working on client galleries right now. I'll be showing you the regular shop here in just a moment, as well as normal e-commerce galleries. So we can enable e-commerce, and we can choose, like again, I said that there was self-fulfillment, or you can incorporate that White House custom color and do a seamless process where essentially the way that it works is when your client comes to actually order their photos, it will go through White House Custom Color. They will actually print and then send the photos out to your client. They will take their portion of the funds away from what your client pays. The rest of the money will go to you. So you never really have to worry about anything. Now, the good thing about White House Custom Color is once you get established with them, you get your test prints, and you know how their colors are going to work with your settings, you don't really have to worry so much about the quality dropping, at least from my experience. But again, if you feel safer doing that self-fulfillment, have your own branding and packaging, use that. But what you get to do is set up pricing sheets. And these pricing sheets, essentially the way that they work is you go find out how much the prints are going to cost you from White House Custom Color, and then you pull that information over to your pricing sheets here, and then you mark them up accordingly to get what prices you want to set, so how much money that you actually need to make from these prints and such. You can even set up minimum order amounts, so this might be something good to do if you are going to do that White House Custom Color integration, because they do require certain amounts to get certain prices and discounts. So maybe having a minimum order amount of, say, like $50 might be beneficial to you. You want to make sure that the amount you're selling is worth the time and you're actually making somewhat of a decent profit, while also giving into the needs and wants of your client. And then as far as shipping lists, you will set those up too. You can offer free shipping if you like. Sometimes I will offer free shipping and somewhat account for it in the pricing. And I'm not meaning that I charge the clients for the shipping, but let's say the total shipping cost is going to be like $10. Well, as long as I can make my profit margin, let's say I want to make at least $100, and then they end up spending enough where I make $110, and I can account for that $10 that way, then I could offer free shipping, if that makes any sense. So, anything I make over my profit, as long as it can be included, that there's that. And a lot of times clients really do appreciate free shipping, and then sometimes you have to pay attention to what your printer's doing, because sometimes if you go through places like MPix or White House Custom Colors or wherever else, they may actually offer free shipping on certain purchases. So that's something to think about as well, is if they're offering free shipping, then you can offer it to your clients as well. Just another perk to keep them enticed and to enjoy your brand and business. So that's pretty much it for this. Essentially what you're going to do is, I've already got the gallery here, so let's just add a couple of photos to kind of see what that would look like on the live site. So I'm just going to click Add Images, and let's just try to grab a couple of things here. Surely I have a few photos that we could throw on here. Let's see. So maybe photography. Let's go to 2021. Please let there be some non-RAW files. Okay, so apparently not. All right, so we're just going to grab some random images like we did in the other tutorial here. Where would they be? Okay, let's go to video. Oh, obviously these are not going to be photos. They're just some logos here, but that'll be enough to kind of get you an idea of what these galleries are going to look like. So once these go ahead and get uploaded, okay, we're good to go there. So let's just hit close. And you can go in and design it. You could set up how the galleries look, whatever you want to do there. I'm just going to leave it all the same, but let's go ahead and click View. And that's going to pull up a live view of what we have. So this is kind of what it's going to look like. Now, if we go back to our client galleries, you could see this images here. You can actually change this image to be maybe a picture of your client. So like if this was an engagement session, you might put the most powerful photo as their landing page background. So when they go to your website or the link that you send them, this is what they're going to see. So then you're going to hit enter. And I don't think I saved the password protection and everything, but that's okay. And this is what they're going to see. They're going to see all their different files here, and it's going to give them the options based on what you put in. So here's our favorites. Here's our comments. So, we could type in a name. And let's just see how this will work on the back end. Okay, so now we can do comments. Okay, maybe make the blue turn green. I don't know, just something like that. So now there's the comment from myself, and we can see that update here. So this would be good too, not for just like engagements and things like that, but if you're working with like a business client on logos like we're doing here, they can put in those different comments. So let's go ahead and close this page out. And then let's look here on the back end and see if we can find those actual comments. So we're going to go back to the albums. You can see that now we have the 5 images in there. So comments, here we go. So we see that we have a new comment from 1059, which was of course from us. So this is what you're going to get to see on the back end. So now we see maybe make the blue turn green. So we can actually click on that image, and when we go back into editing, we can re-edit it, upload it, do whatever, and you can communicate back and forth. Sure, sounds like a plan. Yeah, so it basically just gives you like this little messenger service back and forth with your clients, which I think is another really great thing to have. So let's try to view our site and see if this is actually showing up yet. I might have to actually enable it on... Okay, so that's our landscape prints that we made the other day. So let's go back to our menus here and just add this to see how it's going to look on the actual website. And then we'll jump into the normal store as well as the e-commerce and see what we can find there. So, all right, let's go ahead to edit website. I'm pretty sure that's where it's at. I'm kind of lost right now. It's still a little bit early-ish in the morning, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these spacers because that's really bothering me from the previous tutorial. If you haven't seen the previous tutorial, I showed you basically how to make a website using Pixpa from the ground up, and that's what you're seeing right now. So let's just go to add a page. Let's see, list client albums for easy access. So let's go ahead and add that spotlight. Okay, perfect. So let's just go ahead and hit save. And let's view our site again just to make sure those changes came up. All right, so client spotlight page. Obviously, you can change the name of this. So there, we have Thompson engagement photos. Now, any other albums you have and you've created for other clients are going to be listed across here unless, of course, you chose to hide those. So you could just change that to clients or proofing, whatever you want this section to be called, and people can actually click on it. Now, you can have that page hidden and just have that private link to give out to your particular clients if you want, however you want to do that. But that's essentially how client-based e-commerce galleries work. You create a new gallery for each individual client you have. You give them the options to purchase, to download, to favorite, to comment, whatever you want to do there. So there's a lot of great options you can do as a client-based photographer. Now, the e-commerce galleries, which are slightly different from the client galleries, work the exact same way that we just saw. The only difference is you don't set them up for individual clients. You set them up as more of like permanent galleries that will last over time. A good example of what something like this might look like would be with a photographer like James Popsies. He actually uses a different platform than Pixpa, but this is exactly what those galleries are going to look like. And for the sake of time, I'm not going to go and create those galleries. So let's see here. So this is kind of what it would look like. It's just the same as the other. This is more of like what the storefront would look like. James actually used to have like a client-based gallery type thing. But yeah, it's the same thing as client galleries. You go in and create your own e-commerce galleries, which are directly related to your prints and for you. A little bit the same, but a little bit different. So anyhow, let's go to the store section here, and let's say we're going to do just a normal store. So the first thing I want to do is just activate my store, yes, to continue. Now, to my knowledge, you can't do both an e-commerce store as well as e-commerce galleries. So you need to really determine what type of e-commerce setup is going to be best for your business. For me, at one point all of last year, pretty much, it was the e-commerce galleries. I wanted to sell my prints and offer those, but this year I'm getting more into products because I have Lightroom presets that I'm designing to sell on my website, and like some t-shirts and things like that, and I can even throw in prints into the mix as well, so I don't necessarily need the galleries. So it's really simple to do. I've already activated the store. We're going to add the store to the website now, and then all you have to do is set up your products and your shipping. So we're just going to call this, I'm just going to call this shop actually. You can set up a thumbnail image, so if they are sharing it, again, your description and your title here all in lines with the SEO. Make sure you save the page, and now our shop is live and ready to go. We just have to add some products to it. So let's see here. Let's go back to edit website. I have got a mess with all this stuff, but it makes sense. Hopefully it makes sense. Where is my products? What am I doing wrong here? I'm sorry. I've had like 1 cup of coffee this morning. Usually I have like 2 or 3. Oh, because we were editing the website, not the e-commerce. My bad. Okay, so now we want to go in and get things set up. So the first thing you got to do to have a successful store is to have products to sell. So if you go into your product page, you basically set this up very similar to how you do the galleries. And we're just going to use these example products here just to get an idea. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on this. If you did want to add a new product, it's right here in the top corner. Click Add a Product. Well, let's just go ahead and pull a pre-made one up just to see what it looks like. So the first thing you want to do is title whatever your product is. You're going to set in your product price. And the compare at is if you want to have like a sale. So let's say the product price is $15, and let's say $25 is the compare price. And it has little tooltips here to tell you. So compare at the price is an undiscounted price of the product. So this just, it's a sale price. That's really all it is. You can have tax exempt if you want to do that. Of course, the description of your product, and you can even put in, like they have here, YouTube videos and such, which we're going to look at the live product here in just a moment. And the visibility, you can have it active. If you're building hype around something that maybe isn't quite ready yet, you can have it as coming soon, or you can, of course, active, or you can just unpublish it altogether so people can't find it. You can set up different categories. So in this case, we might put something like notebooks, which we'll have to set that up elsewhere, but you can select different categories for products, obviously put in your tags. And then again, we go back to those shipping options. And I don't have a shipping list created just yet, so that's why the free is the only thing, but we will be creating like our shipping list and such. Of course, you can put in your weight of the products. That helps with your shipping. You can do manage inventory. You can hide the quantities. Just a lot of different options here. And of course, we have our SEO at the bottom. So let's just go ahead and save this. We have it set up exactly how we want. And then we're going to take a minute and actually view it on our website, and also take the time to look and see what that store looks like. So this is what your product page would look like. You have your images here on the left, and you can put multiple ones to kind of showcase different aspects of the product. And you can see here it's $15. It was $25. Again, just that little sale thing. They can select their quantity, add it to cart, and then there's just some details and information, and then you can add, of course, a video. And that's pretty much it. Now, if we go into our shop page, I think there was about 3 or 4 products here. Yeah. So here's all of our products, and each of these are going to be the same as the last one. Now, you can go in and customize different settings. So let's go back to our shop page, and let's go down to our shipping. So this is where you would add your shipping rates. So we have the free shipping. You can see that was right there. So we're just going to call this United States. And what we're going to do is just make sure that we have the USA selected here. And then you start selecting your shipping costs. And you can change that by different countries. And what I recommend doing is choosing your preferred shipping service. For me, I like to use the United States Postal Service. I find that most of the times it's the cheapest and most affordable. So I'll usually just go by their rates and set up different shipping prices based on the products. So obviously, if I'm shipping out a t-shirt, that's going to be substantially cheaper than shipping out like a print, because a lot of times prints, are in bigger packaging, take up more space, and it's usually space, not so much weight, is what they base the shipping off of. So you can set up different rates here. So this could be even like United States prints, or whatever you want to do there. So we're going to add a country. United States shipped alone or with other products. So this will be an area that you'll have to play around a little bit with, and it's going to be different for everybody. So, I could show you as much as I want here, but just know that you're going to have to play around with it. And, in the beginning, there might be some moments where you lose a little bit of money on shipping, but you'll get it figured out over time. So now let's go into our preferences of our store here. And this is where you can start setting up different options in regards to your store. So obviously your thumbnail, the SEO, which we have not set up yet. You can also do inventory low stock alerts. So if inventory reaches below a certain point and you want to add that sense of urgency to your store, you can show that to people. It's just more or less a psychological thing. But you can also choose the layout of your store. So me, for example, I didn't really like those big, humongous product layouts like that. I personally would rather do something like the small squared space. So let's click Save, and let's save that as well. Let's go back. And let's go ahead and view that shop and see how much it's changed. So you do have those customization features to make things look how you want. I think this looks a lot better, especially if you're going to have a lot of products. I think it's a lot nicer to actually have smaller thumbnail images for your shop or for your store. It just flows a lot nicer. Now, of course, when we start adding in different categories for things, that's going to allow us to even create like albums for people to go in. So if you want them to go into a print album of products, they can select products by prints, by t-shirts, by coffee mugs, whatever it is that you want to do. You have all those customization options. Now, for the most part, that's pretty much it. The e-commerce galleries, the client galleries, it works exactly the same as the shop. I guess I could show you the pricing sheets, and that's basically the last thing. So again, this is just set up as self-fulfillment. So I'm just going to click on that and show you what it looks like behind the scenes. And essentially this is how it works. 4x6 inch prints, and you select your price. You can add extra shipping if you like. And that's it. You just basically go through and choose what types and sizes of prints you want. You figure out what those costs are going to be based on the printer that you're going to use, unless you have an amazing printer at home and you can do that yourself, and then you set those prices in. Now, if you do use something like White House Custom Color, it'll actually have a second column showing the cost. It'll show you how much their prints cost, and then you put in your price based on the markup. So let's say from them, a 4x6 inch print costs, I don't know, $2. And then you want to sell yours for $8, it'll actually have that profit loss area for you. So it looks a little bit different, but that's basically it. You just want to go through and do each of the sizes for the prints you want to sell on your pricing sheets. And this is the same for the client galleries as it is the e-commerce galleries also. And as far as e-commerce is concerned, that's pretty much it. Your three options are to do a traditional shop, an e-commerce gallery, or a client gallery. So it basically just depends on what type of work you're doing, and this is not related to just photography. You can be a graphic designer, you can be an author, you can be a t-shirt company, whatever you want to do, you can create those sites on Pixpa. Pixpa is geared more towards the creative individuals like your photographers and designers. However, anybody can use this website builder to create their site. You know, we have a blog, we have the ability to sell different types of prints, and whatever it is you want to do and your imagination can come up with, that's pretty much it. But if you do have any questions or need me to go in more depth on any of the features of the e-commerce or the SEO, I'd be more than happy to go over that and do that in the future. This was just kind of an impromptu stream that I wanted to do today before I got my day started. I was feeling a little bit creative and I wanted to make something, but I wasn't quite sure what. And then I knew that I had forgotten about working on this. So hopefully you learned a little bit more about Pixpa today. Be sure to check the description of my videos. I have a link for creating your website, sends you to Pixpa. You can use my code, I think it's CHAD10. It'll tell you in the description there to save off of your subscription if you do that. Like I said in the video where I actually built Pixpa, if you're going to use this service, I recommend signing up for the free trial, trying it out for about 15 days, and then from there, decide if you want to subscribe or not. That gives you 15 full days to build your website, figure out all the mishaps and everything along the way, and then really get going before you go live. That really gets the most bang for your buck. But that's pretty much all that I had to show you for today, and between the other video tutorial and then today's, that's everything about Pixpa. But the biggest thing about it is just getting in there, exploring it, and having some fun. But I've got to go get ready to go do a bunch of things today, and hopefully there's some creativity involved in there. Hope you're having an amazing Saturday, and I'll catch you all on the next one.